It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.
And welcome into the EP Podcast, brought to you by OSF Little Company and Mary, the proud sponsors of this show. Remember to check them out at osfhealthcare.org. And I always start off with the first guest, and I talk about Porter Cullens as the sponsor, the first guest of the show. But the first guest of the show is Porter Cullens. Kirtan Gandhi, this is a big week for you. How are you? How are you handling it so far?
We're excited. We're very excited. We've been planning and prepping for this. This will be my third go round on St. Patrick's Day after buying Porter Cullens, and we've ordered a lot of extra Guinness. We have a lot of extra beer, a lot of extra corned beef. We've been cooking for days and days and days. Shout out to my team for doing a great job getting ready for this.
That's awesome. 99th at Clifton Park. Everybody knows where it is. And you can check them out at portercullens.com if you want to get any details. We're going to give it to you right now. This show comes out on St. Patrick's Day. This will be, it's kind of the end of a long weekend the day it comes out, but this is the big day. What are the plans for St. Patrick's Day here?
So we'll have live music. We're going to open up a little bit early, around 9 a.m.
9 a.m.?
9 a.m. We'll be ready for you guys, so come on through.
I'm taking the day off.
There you go.
I'm going to put this show out on Facebook, all the social media, and be here by 9 a.m.
Yeah, and then you should take Wednesday off, too. So we'll be open a little bit early. We'll have live music. We actually have live music every day except Monday starting today. So we actually started last night. So St. Patrick's is in full swing here at Porter Cullens.
Yeah, you guys are ripping and roaring. I thought it was really funny. Right when we were going to start, You're like, I need to have a Guinness in front of me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your bartender goes and starts the Guinness. Because if you go to a place that knows how to pour a Guinness, they don't pour it all the way right away. You were a little impatient.
I sure was.
And you went back and you finished it, and she got upset because that's her job. And before you even got here, we were talking, and she was explaining to me the process of trying to keep up, because the goal is to make sure they can get them out quick, but they know everybody is going to have a Guinness.
Of course.
But she also wants to make sure she pours it right, has the proper amount of foam on the top, and she wants to put the clover at the top of it too. It's a process. She was talking about the idea of starting them and knowing that people are going to be walking in and asking for them, and it sounds like such a thing. Like they're gearing up for war here, which I think is amazing.
It's awesome. Yesterday night we had our Guinness party, our annual Guinness party with the men's club. I think we poured over 200 plus Guinness to get ready for this weekend, actually. So,
you practice with the Redeemer Men's Club.
Absolutely,
I love that.
Absolutely. I might have been a little impatient, but look at that perfect pour. It looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous.
I should have left mine, but I was too busy drinking.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna join you here in just a second. So.
That's awesome. All right, so you have the other restaurant now. That's downtown. And for the downtown parade, you took buses of folks down to enjoy that parade, and you even brought some of the Irish cuisine from Porter Cullens to put it in there for the special occasion. How's that restaurant going, and are you still doing the bus rides where people can go down and check it out?
Yeah, so we're gonna have corned beef and things like that down there to celebrate. Obviously in River North, it's a very big holiday for St. Patrick's Day. So we do the buses. We're going to keep doing them every month. So I'll do a brunch bus once a month, and I'll do a dinner bus once a month. So the bus is completely free. There's a cooler on board. If you want a beer, I buy you a beer. You can come to Porter Cullens ahead of time, have a beer here, and then get down there, order your dinner, what have you, and I bring you right back, so you don't have to worry about parking or drinking or driving or nothing else. So
what is the difference for somebody from the neighborhood who's saying, okay, I'm going to go to River North? And I'll be honest with you, there used to be a time when I was younger, I liked going downtown.
Yeah.
And that's why places like yours do so well here in Evergreen, because people are like, I like my places that are right here by my home. But let's say somebody wants to venture out, go to River North. What's the difference? Is it different dress code, different food? What do they expect?
It's very much, think of the same feel of Porter Cullens, that warmth, that welcoming nature of it. Our tagline is make yourself at home. So it is very much not a burn and turn restaurant. It's very atypical for downtown, where we're actually trying to get people to hang out like we do at Porter Cullens. The food is a little bit different. We call it, global comfort foods with a twist. So if you've had a birria taco, I have a birria pierogi. But everything's made by hand. Our team there is very, very talented. They do a great job at kind of constantly innovating the menu. But I also have handmade spaghetti. So there's something for everyone. But it's elevated for downtown because it's a different market. But I've had several. I shout out to the community of Porter Cullens. Like, they have come down and supported us so much. This is, we've done several bus trips, and I have customers coming there all the time. They're like, oh, we love it, but it has the same service feel to it, where it feels community. It's just, we're brand new. We're 6 months old, so we're still building up our client base, and it's getting there. We're getting busier and busier. We're heading into spring. I had the absolute foresight to open into winter, so my bad. But in any case, surviving winter really preps us for spring, so we're really excited.
That's awesome. So speaking of Porter Cullens, though, I came in here, I want to say about a week ago, Friday night, had my youngest guy with me, my 10-year-old, and I need to find a place where I can have some fish. I'm Catholic. Yeah. I'm like, all right, it's Friday, it's Lent, I'm going to come in here. Place was jammed, of course, because everybody else had the same idea.
Yeah, of course.
We sit down, I get 2 of the fish and chips. That's a traditional dish here at Porter Cullens. It's been going on even since before you got here.
Absolutely.
And it amazed me that every month you come out with these new creations. You will try all kinds of different types of food. You'll introduce new cocktails, but you don't forget the stuff that people have gotten used to over the years. That hasn't changed. I can't find a difference that, maybe it improved, but I don't see any fall off in the fish and chips or the corned beef sandwich, which, while you're doing all this new stuff, you're able to keep the favorites still going strong. What do you do to keep that on track?
I got to give a lot of credit to my team here. They're just exceptional at what they do. If you look at the size of my kitchen, it's a cartoonishly small kitchen, but they are wizards back there. And we know, I'm a Southsider, and Southsiders, we like to be introduced to change. We don't want to be forced to change. So I didn't want to take away the staples. I wanted people. This is not a vanity project, right? It's for our customers. I want them to be happy. So the feedback I got was, they want to try different things. So my chef back there, Danny, he does a great job of like, hey, here's an idea. Or he'll be like, hey, well, why don't we try this? And we just keep going, but we keep the staples, the corned beef, the fish and chips, so folks know. And for the fish and chips, it's hilarious. Once Lent started, we are ordering, 500-600 pieces of fish a week, and we're just burning through them as they go out. So we really wanted to give a place where people don't have to actually venture downtown if they want to. They can have some of the food here, whether it's a vodka cream pasta or what have you, handmade pasta, or you want to do the fish and chips and the corned beef egg rolls. It's all here for you the way you want it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of comfort food sometimes. Sometimes I come in and I go, I want to try this new thing. Sometimes I walk in and I go, I need classic Porter Cullens, and you give both to people. I think that's awesome.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, this is a community place, and I love our community. It's fantastic. They have been so genuinely kind and supportive, and I want to give them what they're asking for. So a lot of times, a lot of our pairings, someone will come to me and be like, hey, I had this at this one restaurant. Do you want to take a chance at it? And I'm like, sure. And so then we throw it on the pairing menu and see how it goes. And what's happened actually is on our menu, we've added a lot of our pairings to the main menu over time because people are demanding more and more of it. So our menu has kind of evolved a little bit, but the staples have stayed the same.
Yeah, and you talk about the fact that the community supports you. Let me just explain what happens when this man walks in. Everybody gravitates to come say hi to him. He's got to work the whole room. Then he decided, well, I'm going to be doing a St. Patrick's show, so I need a bow tie, which is spectacular.
I appreciate it.
Then somebody had to fix his bow tie to make sure it was right? That's the thing I noticed, that you are a present owner, and your customers know you, which I don't see every time I walk into a place. There are some places like that. In fact, I would say Evergreen probably has more per capita owners that are in there meeting people, but it is a refreshing thing to say.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's awesome. My friends tell me that when I'm at Porter Cullens, I'm like a fish in water. It's a very natural thing for me to be here. I love it. I was here with a couple of friends, and I started bussing tables and talking to people, and they're like yelling at me like, sit with us. And one of my buddies is like, you're asking him not to breathe. This is just what he does. So it is. I'm telling you, I come in here. It's so uplifting for my spirit. Everyone here is so gracious. And honestly, I was gone for a couple of months when I was working on ELA's downtown. I was very busy, and the community told me hey, we haven't seen you, we missed you. And I'd warned them long in advance that for about 6 months I'm going to disappear as I had to support.
Get the other place going, yeah.
And now I'm back. I'm here every day now. And I just check in, talk to people, and it is the greatest gift. I'm so excited, so I love it.
And then the decorations.
Yeah.
I remember when you first started, when you took over and you started doing the decorations, and I thought, there's no way he's keeping up with this. Like he changes for every month and every season and stuff like that. But they do. That a lot of that's the staff, right? Like they're designing how things look in here, correct?
Yeah. So we have a design company that comes and does all the lighting and all these, shamrocks and things like that. But a lot of credit goes to my GM, Tara. She's fantastic. She's very creative. She comes up with these really cool things like our sill over there and coming up with flowers and things like that. So it's a staff, and then we have a team come through. These lights that are hanging right now, Tara and I were here one morning at 8 a.m. fighting with each other, putting the lights up. It was really hilarious. So we have a really good time with it. So we do want to keep it, because it's a funny thing, once you take the decorations down, if you don't have them up, it becomes kind of dull. And so we had no choice but to keep it up now. So we roll with it every holiday, every season, whatever we can do.
You mentioned it earlier. You got the small kitchen, right? And the space itself, this isn't a big place, although it feels big when you walk in because you've done a lot with the space. In the summertime here now, in the coming months, you're going to have tables out in front. You got that beautiful patio, which is really nice to hang out on 99th Street. And I know a lot of the availability of being able to kind of expand outward comes from the village giving support as well. What's it like, still being in Evergreen? Because now you've seen opening a restaurant in Chicago and opening a restaurant in Evergreen. I bet you it was very different.
Oh, very different. And Evergreen Park is fantastic. The mayor has been really, really supportive. Everyone's been very supportive down at City Hall or the Village Hall. And I go in there and I was like, hey, I have this idea, and they'll be honest with me. They're like, hey, we have some neighbors we got to make sure we're picking parking, so we're adding valet on Friday and Saturday because I want to be a good steward.
Oh, you think about adding some valet here?
We have valet starting on Fridays and
Saturdays. We got
Saturdays.
valet in Evergreen Park. You fancy?
It's people parking, and I don't want to upset our neighbors, and so I was like, we can park at the school,
right?
But I want to make it a frictionless process for our customers, so it's like they just roll up here. We'll valet the car.
Oh, I cannot wait to valet at Porter Cullens.
And then they'll come and bring it up here when you're ready to go. And as we head into spring months, I'm actually redesigning the patio as we speak.
Right.
So there'll be a whole new patio come next month.
I'm surprised you haven't tried to figure out a way to put people on the roof, because this place gets busy.
It's in my head. Don't worry, it's coming. All these ideas are they're percolating. First things first, I'm going to be working on building out my kitchen a little bit bigger, because with the volume, with our new patio, we're actually going to have about 15 more chairs. So I want to make sure that the kitchen is able to operate and service our customers the right way.
Right.
I don't want to, I'm not just trying to jam the place and I can't give the service level that people, want. And
right.
So I'd rather stay and scale in a way that keeps the service consistent, keeps the quality consistent. So we're working on rebuilding the patio and then expanding the kitchen. And then eventually we'll get to the rooftops and everything else.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible to watch it grow. And I remember when you took over, I was like, this guy's got ideas. Yeah. Like, he's going to keep the feel, but he's got ideas. And you are really, every year you just see things kind of change, but it's always just so much fun to watch it happen. It always is enjoyable, and I love getting in here. And whenever I can't get in here, I feel bad. Yeah. So it's like honestly one of those things where, like, when I get here, I'm like, now I'm going to be here for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like, we're recording on a Friday, and I got a text from one of my kids, like, when is this over? I'm like, well, it'll be over in a few minutes, and then your father's probably going to sit here and watch a basketball game and have a couple of pints here and relax, because that's the kind of place that it is. So
I appreciate that.
Well, look, I love it. The food is great. The drinks are great, and you're such great supporters of the EP podcast, and I appreciate that. St. Patrick's Day, if you're watching this show today, it comes out. Get over here. I'll be here. My da comes. That's the only time I call him my da. My father comes, and he'll sit there and he'll have a couple of these. He'll start talking in Irish brogue.
All right.
Okay? Because his grandmother came from the cold country. Yeah. So it'll be a sight to see. You have live music. Definitely get out here to Porter Cullens. Try all the things on the menu and enjoy the comfort food. My friend, thank you so much.
Of course, cheers. If you want to see me dressed as a leprechaun all weekend, I'll be
You're
here.
in the leprechaun outfit.
I have 3 different leprechaun costumes.
You got to come every night so you can see the different variations. Sláinte.
Gandhi. Sláinte. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. It is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you by Spoken Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. Incredible food. They do a small plate kind of thing, but they also have enough in portions that you're just going to go out there and have a great meal, enjoy some amazing wines. They do special tasting events. They have a new lunch menu and lunch hours. Really a great place to stop by no matter what you're doing during the day or in the evening. Get together with friends, date night, whatever. See everything they have going on at SpokenVineWines.com. There are a few very important things coming up this summer that we always talk about, and it's great for the kids, great for the young adults. It's time now to make sure you don't miss out on these deadlines. First of all, the LEAD, or LEAD, Evergreen Park Summer Internship. Applications now being accepted for the Village of Evergreen Park Summer Internship Program, providing students the opportunity to see how local government operates and provides training and resources to help them further their careers. It's for EP residents that are freshmen, sophomores, or juniors in college. That's who's eligible to apply. You have until April the 3rd. Application on the Village website, along with the sign up for the Evergreen Park Police Department's Kids Golf 2 T-level clinics for the Kids Golf Foundation this summer. These clinics being offered free of charge to both boys and girls of the village between the ages of 8 to 13. Non-residents will not be accepted into this program, and children can only attend a T-level clinic once. That information also on the village website, evergreenpark-ill.com. And the Village of Evergreen Park is excited to announce 2 new updates to their water and utility billing. You can now pay by phone. Pay your water utility bill by phone using a credit card, calling 708-529-6382. Or you can go paperless beginning on May 1st. Residents can choose to receive their utility bill by email through electronic billing. Sign up in advance by completing the paperless billing request form. That is also on the Village website. Contact Water Utility Building for any questions at 708-422-1551 and join the barn staff at the barn at James J. Sexton Park, a great place to hang out on Sunday mornings through March 29th, 11 a.m. every Sunday. A book reading and learning about the barn animals, fiction and nonfiction books shared with the children. It's for pre-K through 3rd grade. It's going to be a theme of spring is here coming up on March 22nd. I believe that is the next one that is coming up here. Adults must stay with their children for Read at the Barn. That is your Word on the Street. We continue here on the EP podcast, found everywhere podcasts can be found, on our YouTube channel and at the EPCHS.com. So we have a couple of fun guests here today on the EP podcast. Fun because my favorite sport in the whole world is baseball. Fun because they're from Evergreen Park Community High School. Fun because if you know anything about my podcast network, I do Sox in the Basement, which is one of the biggest White Sox podcasts that's out there. And I get to talk a little baseball on the EP podcast with the head coach, or let's just say manager. They always do that. Like high schools always go head coach. You're a manager. The manager of the softball team, Michelle Vucsko, and then also the manager of the boys baseball team, Andrew Massey. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks for coming on. We're going to get some things out of the way really quickly here. Your brother's famous. He plays for the Royals.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, right? Like Mike Massey is what is he? Second base? He's second baseman for the Royals.
Second baseman.
Right? Yeah, and he's prepping right now in spring training. He's a really good baseball player. A lot of people know him locally. Meanwhile, you're managing a high school baseball team. Do you guys trade secrets from time to time? Does he ask you about the team? Do you ask him about things that he's learning at the professional level? What's that like?
Yeah, all the time. We keep a pretty open dialogue on whether it's hitting approach, mechanics, infield play, some base running stuff, and just some kind of game inside the game, mental things. But yeah, we talk all the time, and he's been a big help in again, it's a really positive, good relationship. So we get along great, and he's always really helpful.
That's awesome. And I would imagine every once in a while you tell him, come on over here and just kind of show off in front of the guys,
Once
right?
in a while he does, yeah. We actually do a infield hitting camp every November, December over at the complex. So it's kind of cool to see him, working with kids in the community and giving back. So it's pretty cool.
How long have you been managing the team?
This is my third season.
Third season. I think you've been in EPCHS for 5?
5 years.
Is that right? Michelle, you've been there longer. You're the vet. How long over at Evergreen Park Community High School managing the softball team?
This is my 11th year as manager, and then I was assistant 1 year before that.
Okay, and the season is about to start. Actually, on this date, as we're recording, your first game canceled because of the threat of hail, which is always bad for baseball.
Yeah.
1, it hurts, and 2, if it's big enough, it's going to look like the ball, and it's going to get very, very confusing. And one thing I want to do here as we start talking, I just want to make sure you're going to be okay. I sometimes refer to softball as baseball. I coached a softball team when my daughter was playing for EPGSL, and I would sometimes call it baseball, but there are times where I have called baseball softball. I'm going to mix it up.
That's all right.
But as a manager, I felt like sometimes people try to make them two separate sports. And in reality, the strategy remains the same. The game is still the same. The only difference is essentially the ball is a little different and the pitching style is different. But you correct me if I'm wrong. I always felt like a bunt situation in a softball game was the same as in a baseball game, correct?
Yeah, there are a lot of similarities. I think the speed of the game is a little bit faster just because everything's a little bit smaller too. But yeah, like Andrew said, talking through infield mechanics and hitting and base running tips and things like that, a lot of that does translate, yeah.
And I always feel like you would have the easier job than Andrew because, as my experience was coaching Little League boys and coaching girls softball, is that I could tell a girl, like, this is what we're doing and this is how you do it, and they would immediately listen to me and make the adjustment, where boys just have their heads in the clouds and they're barely paying attention, at least at that age when they're younger. And I felt like it was so much easier to teach mechanics, so much easier to teach fundamentals, so much easier to get the drills through with the girls and the guys.
Yeah, I've never coached boys, so I can't compare, but coachability, at least in our program, is, yes, girls are very open to that coachability and have a lot of, or want a lot of insight, ask a lot of questions, sometimes a lot of questions, but they are, yes, coachability is very easy with the girls.
Yeah, and guys just want to look cool when they're out there. That's what I always notice. I mean, they're more concerned about how their head is tilted sometimes. They drive me nuts, the boys, when I coach them.
Yeah, for the most part, we got a pretty coachable group. A lot of that, whether it's the off-season training or we're in the weight room or obviously during the season, guys are pretty open to listening and making adjustments. And just having a coaching staff full of guys who've kind of been there and done it, I think they respect that too, so they know it's coming from a good place.
How much of a benefit is that field or that set of fields? I mean, when they put them in, they're beautiful, first of all. I think they inspired other area schools to do similar things because it became a draw for local baseball players to say, I'm going to go play there. Did you guys see a difference when those new fields moved in?
I think so. It had the wow factor for sure when they were first built and we had our first games. We had playoffs. We hosted playoffs the first year that we had the field. So, and there definitely was a wow factor. And even now that it's, however many years old, 5 or 6 years now, I'm following other teams and other local schools on social media, and they're posting first practice outside was yesterday. We've been outside, 8 times already. So
because the field conditions are better because it's artificial.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels correct me if I'm wrong, it feels pretty close now. They've done a very good job of almost simulating dirt, simulating the fact that how the grass plays and everything. Do you see any difference? Do your players see any difference when they go from a field like that to a natural grass one?
I don't think so. Obviously there is a difference, but I think it is about as natural as it could be.
You're not sitting there telling them look, we're on this type of field, we have to do something different.
Right.
No. You just play the game.
Yeah.
That's all. That's really, really cool. So when does spring training's going on right now for Major League Baseball? So in my mind, I always go, okay, well, everybody's just prepping, but you guys are ready to start. So when do you start your prep? When do you, are there drills in the gym when it's snowing outside? How soon do you start getting guys ready, Andrew?
So we had our tryouts last Monday, so we got about a 2-week window.
And then you just start.
Before our first game, and then we just start, yeah. And now, again, in the off season, there's open workouts and weight room and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's pretty kind of show and go. Like you got 2 weeks to get a lot in or fit a lot in, and then it's time to play games.
I would imagine that means, Michelle, that you guys do a lot of scouting of the players that are on the way. Like you already kind of have an idea. This one's getting here. Yeah. That's my new center fielder. Like you kind of have that because you don't get a chance to really start to figure it out. But I know that one of the great things that you have going for you is how strong Little League, girls softball, baseball in general is in Evergreen Park. This is kind of a mecca for this sport. I mean, it's because right now the eyes of the hockey world are on us because of Abby Murphy. But in reality, it's always been a baseball town. That must help you figure out what you're going to do as the season approaches. Yeah,
the EPGSL is great in the EPCHS program. They've always been a really good feeder for us. But then also the Central Middle School. They have a really competitive softball team as well, and they play in the fall. So they're able to get their games in. They play on our field, so we're able to see them, as young as 6th grade being in competitive game action.
One of the things that I noticed coaching, and I would love to get both of your opinions on this, because you're sitting at the high school level where I think a lot of young kids, that's their aspiration, just to play in high school. Like to give you a little bit of background, my daughter played for EPGSL. When she first started, she was kind of lost out there. She ended up, when she was 11 years old, hitting in the middle of the order on an 11-year-old state championship team. So she clearly improved. Yeah. And when she went to Mother McCauley, she would have been on the freshman team and likely on the bench for the JV team, but COVID hit that year and erased one team and shortened the bench on the other one. And then she kind of lost interest in softball, which was kind of a shame, but she did. So there was kind of a victim of that time. But on the other hand, I watched her go through it. And I watched a lot of her friends go through it trying to get ready. And they had these aspirations. Like, I do want to play when I get to high school. What kind of advice do you give to parents and to kids when they're younger? Because my feeling always was, let them try every position. Let them find what they're good at. Don't kind of pigeonhole them in at 7 or 8 years old that they're going to be this. But on the other hand, sometimes I see that people do that with kids, and those kids are still successful, even though they were just always a second baseman or always a catcher. What would you like to see the most of?
I think at this age, versatility really is the key. There's so many girls who I started out my high school year playing middle infield mostly, and I got my very first game of college, I played third base. So, you get to, if you do go on to the next level, there's always, an opportunity for you if the more that you can offer the team. So I think the younger that you can be more versatile, the better off you're going to be later on as well.
Andrew, I see that in the majors right now. I see the idea that if a guy can move around, that's actually a big benefit to teams. So in reality, it probably makes more sense at the younger level that the kids are playing every position and they're getting moved around. And it's not you're a shortstop and you're a shortstop from like 7 years old through 12, right?
Yeah, similar to coach, throughout high school, I was a middle infielder, playing mostly shortstop. But by the time you get to college, my freshman year, I played second base, sophomore year, third base, junior year, shortstop, senior year, first base. Yeah. And a little bit of right field in there. So right now, my brother's even going through it. Came up through the minors, Illinois, Brother Rice playing second base, and then now they got him playing some left field and right field. So if they can do it to guys in the major leagues, then, kids playing in middle school, high school, if guys in the big leagues are doing it, then so can you.
That's one of the points that I keep making on my White Sox show. I'd love to hear what your opinion is of this. Like, one of the things I yelled about years ago on that show was they're drafting the wrong kind of player. And then they would get to a point where with this new regime and with the White Sox, they started drafting a lot of shortstops. And my thing is, well, the best player on the team is generally the shortstop. That's the most athletic person. If the shortstop can hit, they can also move to another position. Am I crazy when I say that out loud? Because I feel like I'm dead on with that one. You're both high school coaches, so I just want some validation here. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We always want, we want athletes, I think, and we see that a lot at our school too, these multi-sport athletes, and those are the kids who end up usually being pretty versatile on the field as well. So yeah, we try to recruit athletes and then fit them in where we can.
In Evergreen, and I've talked with now your football coach, your basketball coach, your wrestling coach, you have a very small area, but you're also very fortunate that basically the entire village plays
plays baseball and softball. Like it really is something that occurs here. What is it like for Evergreen right now with that field, with that set of fields over there, with those facilities? Do you feel like you're getting an uptick in recruiting and keeping kids that are local here in Evergreen saying, I'm going to go to the public school because they got a good baseball or softball program?
I think so, at least a little bit. I think we've seen a little bit of an upward trend. Obviously, we would love to be, higher and 100%. But I do think that we have so much to offer. And I think parents, especially if they have multiple kids coming through our school, they see that too. And they see, like you said, the facilities, they see the success of the programs and realize that this isn't just, we're not just a backup plan if some other, school falls through. So we are a great first option. And I think more people are starting to see that.
Yeah, we've definitely seen it the last, this is year 5 for me at the school, but I'd say over the last 2 or 3 years, Coach Ramazinski, football coach, also the recruiting coordinator, he's done a great job too, helping us line up shadow days, visits, camps, all those types of things. So I've definitely seen a little bit of an uptick in recruiting and more numbers, which is great.
That's awesome. So the season that's coming up here for you guys, I mean, one, it's not like football where you play like once a week. They're going to be playing during the school year, so you have and on school days, so you have to make sure that they don't just become baseball players and forget that they have to study. And then you have to deal with the elements and schedule changes and things like that. Take me through the typical season and what that challenge is to kind of make sure you're putting the best product out on the field and developing them, but then you also have to deal with the scheduling and the grades and the schooling and everything else.
Yeah, it's a grind a little bit. We start, same as Andrew, we started a week earlier. So 2 weeks we'll always have from tryouts until our first game. So we were supposed to play today. And then it is kind of just nonstop. Like you said, we play, there are weeks where we have 4 or 5, maybe even 6 games if we have a doubleheader on a Saturday. So yeah, getting the kids to kind of stay on top of their work in the classroom. Some of them are going to their own hitting lessons and things like that too. So it is a grind, even though it seems like a short season, only like 2.5 months, but we get a lot in and a lot of success in during that time.
But they're doing a lot of work in the off season too, right? I mean, they're at training facilities. They're probably working on their hitting year round, correct?
Yeah, we got that complex, that beautiful complex over there. So the guys utilize that during the off season. I know Michelle does as well. So that's a huge benefit to us as well.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I mean, you guys are very fortunate that you have that. You have the sports complex. You have this nice little pipeline that's sitting here. I mean, and this is really the best time of the year, right? When you get to play ball.
Yeah.
For you to be managers of a baseball or a softball team, you must absolutely love the game. And I'm curious, how much of the pro, even college game, do you get a chance to watch when you're focusing on the actual game? I've asked Jim Ramazinski this about pro football, and he's like, it's hard because sometimes I'm concentrating so much on high school that I don't watch it as much as I'd like to. But I mean, you clearly have a love for the sport. How much do you get to still experience it at the other levels?
I'd say it's tough March through May.
Yeah.
That's obviously with our season
then
going on.
Then you call your brother up and you're get me some tickets?
Yeah, exactly. So June and July is where I get a lot of that done over the summer months, and then a little bit into August. But yeah, it's difficult. But whenever I go home, I try to find a game on MLB Network or MLB TV or a good college game. So,
Sox fan, Cub fan?
Neither.
Neither. Wow.
College softball
Royals fan, right?
We grew up Sox fans.
Right, I know. Yeah. I would have liked him to be on my team.
My allegiances have shifted.
Trust me, about a year ago, I was like, why aren't we going after this Massey kid before they realize how good he is? If they keep moving him around in positions, I'm sure the South Side will take him at some point. I would absolutely love that. All right, so as we conclude here, games are going to run now for the next couple of months. And I've seen people in the stands for high school baseball games before. Do you get a good crowd, and how could somebody come check you guys out?
So yeah, our schedule's on 8 to 18, max preps. In the past, we've had some really good crowds last year, usually against when we play the Catholic schools. So when we played Marist last year, when we played Rice the previous year, we usually get to see some really big crowds. But yeah, 8 to 18 on the school website or max preps is probably the best way, and our Twitter accounts as well.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. We have Michelle Vucsko and Andrew Massey from Evergreen Park Community High School. Good luck this year, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.